finale.
For the premiere of its 36th season, The Simpsons aired an episode that could have served as a series finale. Futurama coincidentally did the exact same thing on the exact same night just in case they got cancelled. While I Think Otherwise is a unique what-if plot that's a little disappointing because it focuses more on capturing what you'd find in an average episode than its high-concept premise, Bart's Birthday surprised me for being a bizarre but timely bashing of bad TV endings that gets to the core of how The Simpsons operates on an episodic level. The framing device here is that of a special event hosted by Conan O'Brien to an audience of former celebrity guest stars.
Obviously, things have gone a little off track, but that's live animation for you.
At first, I thought this was supposed to take place in the continuity of the Behind the Music parody episode, Behind the Laughter, where The Simpsons is a live-action show filmed in a world where everyone has 4 fingers and yellow skin. But that doesn't matter because both are non-canon.
Yep, there I go. Then came the rocks. Jagged rocks. Hitting me with their jags.
In order to end the long-running series in a way that will please everyone, Conan presents that the finale has been written and created by a sentient machine learning artificial intelligence called HackGPT, generated from every Simpsons episode and television finale ever. The premise it's concocted has Bart bounce from Springfieldian to Springfieldian, delivering invitations to his birthday party after Homer forgets to mail them out. An idea that even the episode calls out as being tacky.
You ran billions of computations, and that's what you come up with? Homer screws up Bart's birthday party?
Got anything better?
I think the birthday party could work.
This is a perfect use of Conan, getting the most famous Simpsons writer to critique an episode about writing a Simpsons episode. He's an excellent stand-in for a Troy McClure-like role, as his hosting duties remind me a lot of the old 138th episode spectacular behind-the-scenes clip show. Making Bart the star even calls back to O'Brien's last appearance way back in season 5, where Bart makes a celebrity appearance on the first of his 3 talk shows, back when he honestly had a much better caricature.
Sit perfectly still. Only I may dance.
That being said, Bart's Birthday is actually the second in a specific subgenre of Simpsons episodes about bad Simpsons episodes. I know that no one takes the phrase, "The Simpsons is good again," seriously online, but like it or not, the past few seasons have tried to evaluate how these beloved characters should be interpreted for the 2020s, with genre parodies, format shakeups, and new character dynamics. When they're not making episodes they could have done 10 years ago or promoting Disney Plus, I'm genuinely interested to see what they try to pull off every week.
I've heard there's a cartoon show that can predict the future. Maybe we can watch it and find out what's going to happen.
2 years ago, Lisa the Boy Scout also used a generic premise and title to hide that it was about an anonymous-like group of cyber terrorists presenting amusingly terrible scenes in an attempt to ruin the legacy of the property.
Good morning, Homer. It's morning!
It was an excuse for out-of-character gags and lazy plot twists, alongside a few real clips that are infamously hated by fans. This was one of the first times they animated fake scenes in the 4:3 aspect ratio that call back to specific episodes originally animated on cells. I feel like these do a better job capturing the post-season 10 pre-digital look based on the refined character models and brighter colors, but it's always a cool surprise whenever we get scenes like this, including a few introduced by Conan as failed attempts to end the series through gruesome deaths. Bart's Birthday broadens its criticism of bad writing to poke fun at tired series finale tropes by applying them to The Simpsons. Characters like Principal Skinner announced that they're moving away from town to forcefully set up spin-off series. Random civilians say the catchphrase they're known for. Comic book guy's wife, Kumiko, suddenly gives birth. Homer accidentally kills Mr. Burns, and Bart runs past the church sign announcing funerals for other spontaneous deaths, as well as spontaneous weddings. Long-lost family members are reunited, including the real Seymour Skinner and Uncle Herb. Deceased characters return from the dead. The Krusty the Clown show concludes with a clip show compiling classic bits. Central locations we spent hundreds of hours in are unceremoniously shut down. A big guest star appears. In this case, it's John Cena. I tried to edit in a clip of him, but I kept getting an error message, so I guess you can't see him. I was expecting more direct parodies of iconic finales, but instead those were confined to gags in the credits. They even play the instrumental for They'll Never Stop the Simpsons, the We Didn't Start the Fire parody from the season 13 clip show, Gump Roast.
They'll never stop the Simpsons.
Have no fears, we've got stories for years.
Kind of felt like a way to reclaim a snarky joke about the show overstaying its welcome made 2 decades ago, having confidently proven that it does indeed have stories for years. I think the smartest move with the writing here was to not hinge all of the humor on the absurdity of this contrived AI-generated script, and sprinkle in little in-character reactions to the out-of-character actions of others.
Everyone, I have an important announcement to make. Mr. Burns is dead.
I personally got a lot of mileage out of the Easter eggs and cameos. My favorites were seeing Katy Perry, animated in the outfit she wore in the live-action Christmas-themed Muppets parody, a collection of rare Barts to rival my own, and an appearance from my spirit animal, the very tall man. Special mention goes to this shot of scientists loading old Simpsons DVDs into NICKtendo. The artist included the fold-out packaging, the spine designs, and the wonky box sets with crappy plastic molded heads and faces that I already made a whole video complaining about. If this is supposed to be the culmination / regurgitation of everything that the past 768 episodes have built up to, then shoving in fitting and unfitting references makes perfect sense.
When the very first episode aired in 1989, the viewers agreed on one thing. It wasn't as funny as it used to be.
While I enjoyed Lisa the Boy Scout, its successor has a much more compelling emotional center. That was essentially a compilation of wild skits, strung together with wraparounds where 2 leakers that we've never seen before fall madly in love with each other. Conversely, this is a Bart story where he has to accept the unstoppable force of change that's rapidly affecting his entire life.
Bart, it's okay. Change is healthy and inevitable.
His school, his father's workplace, his hangout spot, his best friend, his family dynamic, his favorite TV show, his sisters, they all get everything they've ever wanted or become unrecognizable.
That's it. Everything's changing, and I don't like it.
The rebellious spirit of this cartoon comes out through the increasingly self-aware Bart. He calls out how the AI has solved everyone's problems, which means no more conflict to generate future episodes. The lighting and eerie atmosphere stress how artificial and hollow this perfect moment is supposed to be. If he turns 11, instead of always inexplicably turning 10 every time he has a birthday, then Bart is no longer Bart and The Simpsons is no longer The Simpsons. It takes Homer returning to his usual tendencies and strangling his son for the first time in years for things to go back to normal, for this final episode to become a regular episode. Absolutely genius to have Marge flip back a light switch after her son has otherwise been left in the dark by everyone else in town having overly sentimental endings.
I think I'm going to miss this place.
What is happening?
While he doesn't directly break the fourth wall, that's what Mr. O'Brien is for, there's a broad theme of the creation fighting against its creator that reminds me a tiny bit of Duck Amuck. Here, the art literally speaks for itself. Bart is basically proofreading what NICKtendo has spit out, and the only one capable of changing it is one of the characters. It's a reminder that just as the Writers Guild did last year, the Animation Guild, which covers the animation team on The Simpsons among many others, is currently pushing to get protections against AI in their ongoing negotiations with the AMPTP, among other important issues like outsourcing and short gigs. The union is not currently on strike, but they do need all the support they can get. Use the hashtag #StayWithAnimation when talking about your favorite shows, and follow Animation Workers Ignited to stay updated on the industry and what it's fighting for. If you have some change to spare, consider donating to the Mutual Aid I-Aid Fund from the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees to support out-of-work talent. The Animation Guild, or TAG, is Local 839. I know that's a lot to take in, but considering the subject matter of this episode and that the future of the industry may be on the line, this is definitely a cause worth looking into and supporting. I love how this cartoon is written, but it won't be the same if it isn't drawn by people too.
I stopped it. I'm still 10. When are you going to grow up? Never. Why is everything changing for the better? This is horrible!
I know that South Park technically beat The Simpsons to the punch in tackling generative AI scripts based on their decade-long runs, but I was reminded of an actual series finale that this shares a lot in common with. Okay, Keos, thank you for watching the show as a far more optimistic wrap-up. Now that he's fully achieved his dreams of becoming a hero, protagonist Keos' life begins to flash before his eyes, leading to a montage of split-second sequences cramming in ideas that would have been developed in Season 3 if their episode count wasn't cut in half from 40 to 20 segments.
You will never stop me!
Some of these overlap with the tropes that Bart's Birthday also plays with: forced cameos, characters moving away, and lots of weddings.
I was scared. Life was moving too quick for me. Everything I knew, everything I cared about, before I knew it, They were all becoming distant memories.
KO learns that time being compressed through frequent flash forwards is just what it feels like to grow up, realizing that he needs to live in the moment and enjoy the ride while it lasts. While there are fourth wall breaks, KO doesn't become self-aware. It's odd that hundreds of episodes are all happening at once, but major changes are a natural part of this show's storytelling. It's healthy if someone moves on to a new stage in their life. That's not the end of the world. Just like Bart, coming to this acceptance is what allows him to age. Moving beyond the nebulous 6 to 11-year-old time bracket he's always occupied as a gag on demographics. KO accepts his ever-changing world instead of fighting against the status quo, and the montages that follow are incredibly sweet and self-indulgent. These also subvert expectations by handing satisfying conclusions to random members of the supporting cast, proposing genuinely interesting character turns, or being unfitting on purpose.
Double cross!
Gee, it sure is ironic how an episode about a technology that lazily rips off heartwarming TV endings accidentally ripped off a heartwarming TV ending. To be fair, Thank You for Watching the Show owes a lot to the end of Evangelion in how it depicts its protagonists fighting to understand how to enjoy their life through fourth wall breaks. That's describing it as broadly as humanly possible in a comparison I'm probably not qualified to make, but I couldn't not use this in the thumbnail. Hey, wait a minute.
Happy birthday!
I can't confidently say that Bart's Birthday is a knockoff, especially when showrunner Matt Selman came out with the idea in the middle of a public interview. I just wanted an excuse to bring up one of my favorite 11 minutes of television ever, and I like the Simpsons version a whole lot too. It's like a cynical bad ending to Thank You for Watching the Show. Just in time to celebrate OKKO leaving Hulu as well. Now I don't think you can stream it anywhere. I think the biggest takeaway I have from Bart's Birthday is that I have absolutely no idea how The Simpsons will end now. Any predictable route they could take is now off the table. They're setting expectations for a series finale that feels like it could just be another episode. They could always do the time loop back to the series premiere. That's a common interview response whenever this question is asked, but that would feed into the cycle that Bart desperately tries not to break. I don't like thinking about whether or not the show will end or be forced to reboot because I've always lived in a world where there are Simpsons episodes I haven't seen. I missed like 100 random episodes from the 2000s and 2010s, and those are gaps I don't intend to fill anytime soon. Stay tuned for the video I might make about this in like 10 years if I've yet to be replaced by an AI. I don't think the season 36 premiere is a perfect note to end this legendary run on, and it was never meant to be that, but this is a pretty perfect encapsulation of this current era. Ruthlessly thoughtful and self-aware. Makes me a little glad that they'll never stop The Simpsons.
I am really not gonna miss this place.